We've all felt that sinking sensation. You map out the perfect plan, you set the goals, but somehow the days slip by and those plans remain entirely on paper. When we fail to move, we instinctively look for a culprit in the world around us. We blame a lack of time, or poor external timing, or simple bad luck. But the real friction is internal. You are operating within the stagnation cycle, a self-reinforcing psychological machine that keeps you exactly where you are. This cycle is powered by 3 specific gears: procrastination, the fear of judgment, and a biological resistance to change. Real growth doesn't come from treating these as random bad habits. It requires you to understand how they interlock and then systematically dismantle the entire machine. Procrastination is a fear-driven mechanism. It is the brain's attempt to prioritize the safety of immediate comfort over the uncertain rewards of a long-term goal. This often manifests as perfectionism. We convince ourselves that we'll begin when the conditions are ideal, creating a cycle where we wait for a tomorrow that never actually arrives. You break this gear by lowering the barrier to entry. Start ugly. Accept that the first attempt will be flawed. Then use the 5-minute rule. Commit to just 5 minutes of work to force the momentum your brain is trying to avoid. You must also design your environment to remove friction. By automating your setup and removing distractions, you allow daily consistency to do the work that fleeting motivation cannot. Dismantling this gear changes your identity. You stop being someone who thinks about the work and start being someone who simply does it. Even when you start moving, you hit the second gear, social friction. You hesitate because you are worried about kahenge, what the people around you might say. That sensation of being watched and judged is an illusion. It is a byproduct of looking for external validation to prove that your actions have value. To bypass this, apply the mirror principle. Your only valid point of comparison is the person looking back at you in the glass. When you ignore the external noise, you stop needing permission to act, building self-validation through daily wins. Dropping the need for approval makes your decision-making much faster. You act on your own values, moving forward with a level of intent that others can't derail. The final barrier is your own biology. Even with action and confidence, the human brain is wired to resist the new, treating any change to your routine as a potential threat. This is the habit loop. Your brain seeks the dopamine of the familiar. To your nervous system, the discomfort of a new routine feels like a signal to stop and retreat to what is safe. You cannot fight this by sheer force of will. Instead, use micro-changes. Don't try to overhaul your life in a day. Incrementally replace one small habit with another until the new behavior becomes the path of least resistance. Overriding your biology requires choosing discipline over your current mood. By repeating these micro-changes, you adopt a new default state where you expect and manage constant evolution. Accepting the initial friction of change makes adaptability your primary strength. You stop avoiding new challenges and start viewing them as the standard steps required to upgrade your lifestyle. Procrastination stops action. Fear stops confidence. Biology stops growth. But because these gears are interconnected, breaking just one causes the entire stagnation cycle to fall apart. This chart shows what happens when your effort is no longer consumed by internal friction. Progress starts slow, but once the cycle is broken, your growth follows an exponential path. This compounding effect creates tangible shifts. You recover hours previously lost to distraction, you reduce the mental fatigue of second-guessing yourself, and you build the discipline needed to handle much larger responsibilities. You move from a state of being stuck in your routine to someone acting with a clear, deliberate purpose. We often mistake achievement for a mysterious gift or a stroke of luck. In reality, it is the predictable outcome of managing these internal barriers so that your effort can finally translate into progress. The decision to break the cycle starts today. Stop competing with the world and start competing with your own resistance. The illusion that you have plenty of time tomorrow is the very thing keeping you stagnant. Your future is built exclusively by what you execute today.